Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Know Your World with Nishi. Today let's discuss the most famous Silk Route destination of Uzbekistan, Samarkand. But before we start, please note that we have videos on Uzbekistan as a country. We have videos also on Tashkent, Bukhara and Fergana. Do check them out when you have some time. Happy watching. Who hasn't heard of the legendary Samarkand? Uzbekistan's second largest city is also the most famous city on the ancient Silk Route. One of the oldest inhabited cities in the world, Samarkand is mentioned in various ancient cultures. It is renowned for its turquoise-domed mosques, mausoleums and madrasas, which were architectural masterpieces of the medieval world. Samarkand is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as it lies at the crossroads of different cultures and empires. The history of Samarkand dates back to more than 2000 years. It was an ancient megapolis called Afrosiab, whose ruins can still be seen today on a hill in the heart of Samarkand. The city was also known as Marakanda when the Greeks ruled Central Asia. It was later named Samarkand by the Sogdians, meaning city of stones. Samarkand was made the capital by Emperor Amir Temur, who built a grand city from the wealth of his military conquests. Samarkand was also an important learning center in the Islamic world during the reign of Mirza Ulugbek, Timur's grandson, who built an observatory, libraries and several madrasas. The Karakhanids, Shaibanids and Bukharan rulers also contributed significantly by commissioning several monuments that add to the list of Samarkand's medieval wonders. The monuments of Samarkand have been built, destroyed and reconstructed several times by various dynasties. They have continued attracting travelers since Marco Polo visited Samarkand in the 13th century and hailed it as the pearl of the Silk Route. For those who haven't had a chance to see my video on Uzbekistan, here are a few useful tips for travel to the country. The best time to visit Uzbekistan is from March to May and then from September to November. It gets very cold outside these months, although many visit Uzbekistan in winters to experience snow. Samarkand is best accessed from Tashkent, and Tashkent is well connected with Delhi. There are daily flights from Delhi to Tashkent that take just about 3 hours to cover the distance. From Tashkent, one can reach Samarkand by the high-speed Afrosiab train, which takes only 2.5 hours. Though some travelers plan a visit to Samarkand as a day trip from Tashkent, I highly recommend to spend at least a night there, as there is plenty to explore. Uzbekistan has an efficient mobile network and SIMs are easily available for tourists. The currency here is Uzbekistani som, and $1 yields approximately 12,500 Uzbekistani soms. Language is a little less of a challenge in Uzbekistan compared to the other Central Asian countries like Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. While Uzbek is the common language, English is reasonably well understood. Local food is meat heavy, although vegetarians have more choice than in other Central Asian countries. For more such information, check out my video on Uzbekistan. With this basic understanding of Uzbekistan in place, let's look at some of the attractions of Samarkand. Step back in time as you feel the rich history of Samarkand as you explore Registan Square. Registan Square is the most famous attraction of Uzbekistan and is renowned for its architectural splendor. The square has three monumental madrasas, prestigious Islamic learning centers built during the 15th and the 17th centuries. The madrasas are made with marvelous designs of blue tile domes, spiraling minarets, arched gateways, artistic mosaic walls, and spacious courtyards. These monuments represent the finest form of Central Asian architecture on the Silk Route. I visited the Ulugh Beg Madrasa, the oldest monument built in Registan Square, built by scholarly Sultan Mirza Ulugbek in 1417 AD. The remarkable structure is now a museum with many antiques from Timurid period. The Sherdor Madrasa right opposite the Ulugh Beg Madrasa was built 2 centuries later as its mirror image. The name Sherdor means tiger door in Persian, as it has a pair of tiger motifs on its gateway. The courtyard of this large madrasa is now a market of colorful handicrafts. The Tilya Kori Madrasa at the center is a large mosque famous for its spectacular gilded dome. Shahi Zinda, or the Living King in Persian, is a complex of several mausoleums dating from the 11th to the 15th centuries. It is the burial place of Timurid royal families and nobles who rest here in splendid architectural glory. The tombs are decorated with ornate mosaic majolica tilework of beautiful geometric patterns and are adorned with magnificent blue domes. This place was also a pilgrimage site in medieval times. According to legend, Khatam ibn Abbas, a cousin of Prophet Muhammad, who came to preach Islam in Central Asia in the 7th century, was also buried here. Abbas was hailed as the living king with mystical powers, and the shrine attracts many pilgrims even today. The Gur-e-Amir is the mausoleum of Amir Temur, founder of the Timurid dynasty in Central Asia and the national hero of Uzbekistan. The mausoleum contains the royal tombs of Timur, his sons, grandsons, and spiritual master. It is a marvelous historical complex with an azure dome, ornamental minarets, and colorful walls decorated with majolica tiles. The interiors are gilded with golden patterns and calligraphic inscriptions. Timur had initially constructed a mausoleum in his hometown of Shahrisabz to be buried alongside his ancestors. However, when he passed away in 1405 due to severe cold winds of Otrar in Kazakhstan during a campaign to China, he was hastily interred there. There's an interesting legend around the tomb of Amir Temur at Samarkand. Local folk suggest that the tomb is engraved with a warning that reads, "When I rise from the dead, the world shall tremble." This seems to have come true in 1941 when the Soviet archaeologists opened the tomb, and just 2 days later, Nazi Germany invaded the USSR. Mirza Ulugbek was the grandson of Amir Temur and was also a great mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher. Mirza Ulugbek built his observatory in 1428 AD and spent most of his time there. It was an important learning center where Ulugh Beg taught astronomy to great Islamic scholars and scientists. At this observatory, Ulugh Beg scientifically calculated the length of a year as 365 days, 6 hours, 10 minutes and 8 seconds. Unlike the grand monuments of Samarkand, the observatory of Mirza Ulugbek was mostly in ruins. It was discovered centuries later by the Soviet archaeologist Vyatkin. Only a giant arch, once part of the sextant, remains. A walk around the observatory museum will give you an idea about Ulugh Beg's incredible scientific discoveries. Bibi Khanum Mosque was one of the largest and most magnificent mosques in the Islamic world. It is also the tallest historical monument in Central Asia. When I heard one of the legends of its origins, I couldn't help notice the Indian contribution to this fantastic mosque. The mosque was built in the early 15th century by Amir Timur's Mongol queen, Bibi Khanim, to welcome him upon his victorious return from an Indian conquest. Timur sent 99 elephants from India laden with precious construction material that were used to complete this structure. At its center also lies a giant marble Rehal stand where a large copy of the Holy Quran was placed for prayers in olden times. Next to Bibi Khanim Mosque is the Sio Bazaar, the main market of Samarkand. It is a historic market from time of the Silk Route. It is similar to most of the old Central Asian bazaars, though a tad smaller. Various household items, fruits, vegetables, sweets, bread, spices, etc. are available here. The Mausoleum of Islam Karimov, the first president of Uzbekistan, is located on the premises of the beautiful 19th century Hazrat Khizr Mosque. Islam Karimov was born in Samarkand and served as the president for 25 years. His memorial is beautifully decorated with marble, mosaics and gold-lettered inscriptions. It rests on a hillock and has a view deck which offers a bird's eye view of the entire city of Samarkand. After visiting the magnificent monuments, it's time to explore Samarkand's art and culture. Paper from Samarkand was a precious commodity on the Silk Route and had great demand in the Western world. The people of Samarkand learned the art of paper making from Chinese prisoners of war in the 9th and 10th century and soon mastered the skill. Samarkand paper is made from the bark of the mulberry tree and is preferred for its strength and smoothness. It also consumes less ink. The Konegil Meros paper factory, not far from Samarkand, is a great place to witness the technique of paper making. I also tried my hand in polishing the delicate Samarkand paper with the experts. Carpet making is an ancient art form practiced by various Central Asian communities. The beautiful carpets from the region were luxury commodities once traded on the Silk Route. The colorful carpets of Uzbekistan are made of pure silk, sheep felt and camel wool and are hand woven with intricate designs and great detail. The Hujum Carpet Factory is a great place to see skilled weavers craft beautiful carpets, wall hangers, silk textiles and Suzani embroidery. Each item is hand-woven using traditional techniques and colored with natural dyes. For cultural evenings, head to El Marosi, meaning National Heritage, a theatre of historical costume and one of its only kind in Central Asia. It is a lively presentation of the traditional attires from various periods of Uzbek history in the form of dance drama. Performers are dressed in colorful attires of Scythians, Persians, Sogdians, Timurids, etc. They dance gracefully and enact scenes from different historical periods. The show also depicts dances of other cultures, such as the Chinese and Koreans, who were present in Uzbekistan during the ancient Silk Route. The show ends with a resounding performance of a traditional Uzbek wedding dance. I finally ended the day's activities in Samarkand learning how to make manti. Manti is a popular Central Asian dumpling made of dough with fillings of potatoes, onions, pumpkin, and even meat. We were invited by our travel partner, Zokir, who hosted us for dinner in the evening. After interacting with his family, I tried my hand in making manti dumplings, which we later relished at dinner. Samarkand as a city is quite modern. I wanted to experience the traditional life in rural Uzbekistan and spend some time at a local household. I found that experience at the village of Mitan, about half an hour away from Samarkand. The region is located close to the border with Tajikistan and therefore has a large population of Tajiks. At Mitan, I had lunch with an extremely warm Tajik family. I walked around their farm, saw fruit orchards, learnt a few local recipes, and even baked traditional bread in a large tandoor oven. We ate lunch in their open courtyards over hilarious banter and folktales. Samarkand does live up to its reputation of being one of the most historic places in Uzbekistan. Many make the mistake of just planning a half-day excursion. From Tashkent, they take the early morning train to Samarkand and return the same day after seeing a few monuments. In my opinion, that's not the right way to explore Samarkand. One should spend a little more time and definitely should hire a guide to understand the stories behind these monuments. So before we go, remember that we have videos on Uzbekistan as a country, Tashkent, Bukhara and Fergana. Do watch them when you have some time.
Unwinds live their stories